Hello, and good morning. My name is Chris. I'm coming to you live from my craft room in Worthington, Minnesota. I am participating in a Card a Day in May challenge. So, our challenge is to make a card a day and then post a picture of it. I have always, 2 years in a row now, added the feature of doing a live video also. So I'm not 100%. Weekends are difficult, but I am on track. And today we will be using a sketch. So let's get started. I have created a few things. I shouldn't say that. I really haven't. I put the stamps on the block. I've chosen my ink color and my bling. I've also chosen things. Okay, so here's the sketch. This is day 6. It's my sister's birthday. Shout out to Tori Kroger. I'm trying to get that in focus, and it doesn't want to. Let's see. Is it this I need? Is that better? All right, well, here's the sketch. So we'll just leave that here. And we're going to be using some new papers. These are, oh my goodness, there goes the camera. Sorry about that. This pack of paper is called Woven Textures. So let me go through very quickly what we have here. 4 of each. 2 of each. No, I think it's 4 of each. 3 of each. I'll check that out here as soon as I'm done fanning. It seems like 3 of each, but that is, maybe there goes the camera again. 12 papers. 12 papers. Must be 3 of each. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3 of that one. Yep, 4 designs, 3 of each. That's different. We don't usually have that configuration. Okay, so once again, 3 of this one, and there's the back side, a nice linen. 3 of this one, and there's the back side. 3 of this one, and there's the back. Ooh, I like that one. And I obviously have used one of these, but there's the back. All right, so that's pretty. Woven Textures. So we're using those papers. I've pre-cut these pieces here. Actually, these were scraps from something else that I have finished, and I decided to go ahead and just make those scraps the size that we needed. A sketch doesn't necessarily always come with measurements. The idea is really to make it your own. I'm pairing basic beige, and then here's the products that I'm using. I am using these Last Chance butterflies. I'm going to put one of those on top. These are still available. I just checked. They were $8. They're now $6.50. I am using the Countryside dies. I'll be using the 3rd size. And these are also still available. They were $28. They're now $19.60. Great price. And I will be using the Everyday Details stamp set, which was available last night when I planned this out and is no longer available. So I apologize for that. This one is no longer available. So I always indicate my retired sets with a red dot. So again, I apologize for that, but it was available just a few hours ago. All right, so here's my sketch. Here's my extra scraps that I'll probably end up putting on the inside. And let me show you what I'm going to do. This is going to be a little bit monochromatic, but not really. This is the beautiful bird nest that comes in this set. So if you have this set, you can craft along with me. I am putting this in the middle of this piece of basic beige cardstock, which is 3x3. The sketch actually shows a circle. Now I'm going to show you how to use this die on a piece of paper that's not, I guess for a lack of better term, the correct size. So let me bring in my little stamp cut emboss machine. Ooh. And raise up the camera just a little. All right, so let me put on my base plate and my very loved clear plate. And then I'm going to put the die. Why is it blurry today? I keep clicking the button that is supposed to be the autofocus. We'll see. All right, I'm going to put the die right over here on this edge. And I'm going to run this. I am backwards. I am going to run this through one time. Okay. Now you'll see that it cut half. And that would be kind of cool. It makes a nice tag. But I want the other side to have that same shape. So now I'm going to simply run it through again on this side, making sure that the edges are lined up. If they're not, sometimes I do have to do a little bit of trimming with my snips because I can't always get these sides lined up perfectly. It doesn't really, I want it to sort of fit in a track, and it doesn't necessarily on this die. All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's get all my extra stuff out of the way. And, oh, look, it did it perfectly. So there you have making a smaller piece of paper with some shape to it, with a die that wasn't necessarily designed to be that size. All right, let's move back down and let's bring in our pieces again. Okay, so you'll see that the sketch, blurry as it is, not sure why. Ooh, there we go. The sketch has an oval, and I am using this shape instead. So, all right, we have the blue piece, which is this basket weave. We have this skinny piece, which is that. We have, in essence, the oval. And you know what? I think I want to bring in, let me bring in another piece of that designer series paper. And we'll put one more square in here. Maybe the linen one, huh? What do you think? Is there anybody watching me today? Linen or... I think I'll just do the linen. It's busy enough. And let's just cut let's just try a 2-inch piece of this. 2-inch square. Now I could cut an oval, or I could you know, there's a lot of other things I could also do here. But there we go. Oh, this is a really nice use of this designer series paper. All right, let's get this glued down. I'm using Mono liquid adhesive glue, and let's just start from the bottom up. Oh my goodness, that one's really pretty too. I wonder if I should use that one. What about all of the basket weaves? All right, let's do that. Spur of the moment, change your mind. That's the beauty of paper crafting. Okay, every now and then you have to stick a pin in your glue. I did a lot of crafting yesterday. Getting ready for my catalog kickoff party on Thursday. So my glue was open all day. So that's probably why it was a little thick in the tip there. Okay, got that one. The lighter layer of glue you put, the better, the happier you will be with your product in the end. And let's go a little higher on that one. All right, now we've got this piece here, and I'm trying to decide if I want to color those bird's eggs in at all. Oh, let me think. I have this scrap left, and I'm bringing in my balmy blue. That would be kind of pretty on there, wouldn't it? All right, so we've got dark and light balmy blue. Let's start with the dark and just do a little bit, when we get on camera here, a little bit of dark on these highlighted areas. And then let's color the rest in, going right over the part that I already colored. That's what will show the shading, and that is the beauty of the blend. So you don't have to really be an artist. The blends do the work for you. I find it interesting that not only I, but most demonstrators have a very difficult time talking on camera while they're coloring. And this coloring does not really take any effort, so I don't understand that, but I definitely am not myself when I'm coloring. So there, we've got some robin eggs. Oh, I think that's pretty. I always like a light blue and a brown anyway. All right, we are going to pop these up on dimensionals. I'm going to use the large. Let's put one here. I keep scooting down on the camera here. One here. One here. One on each corner. And then I'm going to put one in the middle because I don't like if it sags. Let me pop these off with my take your pick tool and put them in my handy little weeding cup. Make sure I got them all, and I did. All right. Oh, I wonder if I should put a little bit of ribbon or jute or something under here. Let's see what I have. I have some new basic beige ribbon. Where is that? I bet it's in one of my other kits for my event. All right, let's just use this. And it might even, I might even be able to use up a roll. Here's how I attach string or twine to the back. I use a little tear tape. I might wish that I had not taken off my dimensional backs, but we're going to work around it. All right, I take a little bit of tear tape, put that on there, and then I usually start by sticking it on the back. And a lot of times I can do this all without necessarily even looking at the front. Because, you know, you just want these kind of willy-nilly. Yes, I love it. Okay, let's do one more here. And that's an even number, so I better go one more. Or my friend Beck in Australia will out of her mind. All right. So there's my mess on the back. Trim this off. I didn't use up that whole roll. I thought maybe I would, oh my gosh, look at what's left there. Okay, so now I'm going to also put a piece of tear tape over where I just did that. Twofold. Keeps those strings in place and also keeps this from being sticky and smushing down onto the card. All right, let's get that on there. You guys are like, can we see the string? All right. Oh my gosh, I love this card. All right. I did not have a definite idea of what this was going to look like. All right, these are new. Ooh, they're heavy. Pressed flower motifs. Let's get a close-up of that. These are in the new catalog, or they're an online exclusive. And I like them. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of copy the pattern. Got a little bit of blue tack on there. And this one is loose. So let's put this down here. I think we'll go with 3. All right. Now I had the greeting here. You make my day a little brighter. I think I'm going to just put it on the inside. How about that? All right, let's go ahead and cut or look in my scraps for a piece of basic beige. Here we go. This is just a random size, but we're going with it. Not going to fit on there, so we need a bigger one. All right, let's just cut one from a full sheet. So I want this to be 4. Your standard inside of a card traditionally has been 4 by 5 1/4, but I have been modifying that size just to save on cost and to save on cardstock. I mean, it doesn't have to be that large, but for this particular sentiment that I'm using, it actually did. All right, so you make every day brighter. Lovely. I had these scraps that I thought we could somehow incorporate onto the inside. This one is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. So I'm gonna 1 1/4. So I'm gonna cut it square. Just a little added interest on the top of our card, right? Because what happens with all these scraps otherwise? They just end up they end up in a tote or in a little box over here, and then I never use them. So I'm trying to get better at using them to add a little interest to the inside of the card. All right, oops. So we'll add that to the corner. Usually it's just a stripe along the top that I have for extra, but this is cool too, right? I like it. Let's get the ink out of the way. Let's get the card glued into the center. And this is a dark colored card, so sometimes it is hard to stamp your logo on the back. I'm going to use black. Normally I would use the same color that I've stamped the card with, but I didn't think that that would show up very well. All right, there we have it. We have the card sketch and the finished project. Let me know what you think and where you're watching from and if you're participating in Card a Day. And you go ahead and have a great day. Thanks for watching.